The question, who runs the world, invites us to examine the shifting dynamics of global power. While it may seem straightforward, the answer has evolved significantly over time. In this video, we'll explore how the world has transitioned from a landscape dominated by a few superpowers to a more complex and interconnected global order. For those of us over 45, the world we grew up in was marked by a clear dichotomy, defined by the rivalry between two colossal powers, the United States and the Soviet Union. This bipolar landscape influenced not just global politics, but also cultural stories, financial strategies, and even individual self-perceptions. The Cold War period was marked by a tense standoff, with ideological conflicts taking place not only in the military, but also in the fields of science, technology, and culture. The struggle for supremacy was evident in the space race, arms race, and proxy wars around the world. For a lot of people, this was a period characterized by definite opinions, clearly defined boundaries, and distinct loyalties. However, the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a seismic shift in the global order. After the defeat of this strong enemy, the United States emerged as the dominant power on the global stage, now standing as the only superpower with unparalleled influence. This moment of U.S. dominance led to major shifts in global politics, with the United States influencing international institutions and norms to suit its own agenda. The embracing of democracy and capitalism was frequently seen as a major topic, frequently followed by military actions justified by the goal of fostering stability and freedom. However, this period also introduced difficulties, as the intricacies of global integration and the increase of developing countries started to complicate the previously simple story of American supremacy. The world, previously categorized into clear divisions, now exists as a complex space with constantly changing power dynamics, showcasing a more interconnected and unpredictable global environment. 15 years ago, a significant transformation began to unfold in the global order, marking a shift in the dynamics of international relations. The U.S., known as the top superpower and self-declared global enforcer, began to step back from its leading position. At the same time, additional countries started to assert their influence, frequently ignoring the long-standing norms and regulations that had controlled global relations for many years. These three interconnected developments reshaped the geopolitical landscape during this time of transformation. 1. Russia's decline and resentment. The initial significant change was the fall of Russia, a country that previously had significant impact globally. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Russia faced challenges in establishing its place in the Western-dominated global system. Although Russia has made efforts to become part of different Western organizations like the G8, it frequently experienced feelings of being marginalized and left out from the decision-making procedures that influenced worldwide policies. As Russia's economy struggled and its political system became more authoritarian under Vladimir Putin, resentment increased. The belief that the West did not prioritize Russia's interests and sovereignty sparked a narrative of feeling victimized. Russia saw NATO's eastward expansion as a direct threat to its security and sphere of influence, which intensified its sense of grievance. As a result, Russia started implementing a more assertive foreign policy, aiming to reaffirm its authority and question the current structure, leading to events like the annexation of Crimea in 2014 and interventions in different areas. 2. China's rise and divergence. The second key change was the emergence of China as a dominant player in the global economy. During the latter part of the 20th century, China was accepted into the global economic system led by the United States in hopes that its participation would result in greater political liberalization and adherence to Western principles. Yet, despite China's rapid economic growth, it deviated from the expected path towards democratization. On the contrary, the Chinese Communist Party upheld stringent dominance of political affairs, giving preference to state autonomy and economic progress rather than Western governance. This difference caused discomfort in the United States and its allies. The initial positive outlook on China's ascension was replaced by doubt and unease regarding its global ambitions. China's bold moves in the South China Sea, its Belt and Road Initiative, and its increasing sway in international organizations posed a threat to the existing order. With China establishing itself as a rival to U.S. dominance, the geopolitical environment became more divided, resulting in a heightened emphasis on rivalry between the two nations. 3. The impact of globalization and domestic discontent. The third important change was the effect of globalization, which, while promoting economic interconnectedness and expansion, also made many people in the U.S. and other affluent democracies feel disappointed and excluded. The advantages of globalization were not equally shared. Rather, they mainly benefited a small group, worsening income inequality and financial instability for many lower-income workers. The feeling of dissatisfaction was intensified by the 2008 economic crisis, which revealed weaknesses in the worldwide economic structure and resulted in widespread layoffs and financial difficulties. Consequently, the populace started to doubt the credibility of their leadership and the efficiency of conventional governmental bodies. Populist movements grew in popularity, pushing for a resurgence of protectionist measures and a reassessment of global obligations. This change in public opinion led to a more isolationist stance on foreign policy, as leaders aimed to address the concerns of their voters. These three factors have led to a world without a clear leader, but this won't last forever. So, what's next? As we look ahead to the next decade, it becomes increasingly clear that the world will not revert to a bipolar or unipolar structure. Instead, we are entering an era characterized by three overlapping orders that will profoundly influence our lives, thoughts, and actions. These orders, global security, global economy, and the emerging digital landscape, are distinct yet interconnected, each shaping the geopolitical and socio-economic realities of our time. 1. Global security order, a unipolar dominance. The United States and its allies currently control the global security order. The United States is still the only country able to extend military influence worldwide, supported by a system of partnerships and alliances that enhance its security position. Even with China's increasing military strength in Asia and Russia's aggressive actions in Ukraine, the U.S. maintains its role as the dominant military power. NATO and other partnerships are essential to this security framework. The agreements for collective defense and military cooperation within member states aim to prevent possible attackers and offer a joint reaction to dangers. The U.S. dedication to these partnerships strengthens its position of leadership, enabling it to address crises and uphold stability in different areas. However, there are difficulties that come with this unipolar security order. The growing boldness of China in the South China Sea, coupled with Russia's erratic actions, presents a complicated situation that requires the U.S. to proceed cautiously. There is still a chance of conflict, so the U.S. must adjust its tactics to handle changing threats while also upholding its leadership position. 2. Global economic order, a multipolar reality. In contrast to the security situation, the world's economic structure is defined by multipolarity. The economic framework is defined by the interdependence between the U.S. and China. Trade ties between the two major economies are currently at unprecedented heights, underscoring an intricate dynamic where both countries depend on one another for development and security. Apart from the U.S. and China, the European Union, India, and Japan are also important in this multipolar economic system. All these areas play a part in the global economy by contributing to trade, investment, and innovation, leading to a lively interconnected economic landscape. The increasing prominence of developing economies in Asia and Africa adds complexity to the situation, with new economic forces vying for control. The interaction of the international security and economic systems frequently results in conflicts. The United States seeks to use its military strength in order to influence economic results, whereas China utilizes its economic power to create diplomatic partnerships and grow its impact. The conflicting priorities may result in tension, especially as both countries strive for dominance in important sectors like technology, energy, and manufacturing. 3. The emerging digital order, a new frontier. The digital landscape, which is emerging, is perhaps the most transformative and least understood of the three orders. In contrast to the last two, this arrangement is controlled by tech giants rather than countries and holds considerable sway over worldwide matters. These companies are changing the way we communicate, do business, and participate in political discussions. Companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon have emerged as key figures in the digital landscape. They manage extensive data and can shape public opinion, control narratives, and affect national security. During the Ukraine conflict, technology companies played a crucial role in defending against cyber attacks, showcasing their ability to impact global security dynamics. The upcoming digital era offers potential advantages as well as potential dangers. Advancements in technology have the potential to bring about never-before-seen levels of innovation, connectivity, and access to information. However, the centralization of power among a small number of companies is causing worry regarding privacy, spreading false information, and undermining democratic procedures. When engaging with the digital world, it's important to find a way to uphold both the advantages of innovation and the importance of safeguarding personal liberties and cultural norms. Technology firms are emerging as the most dominant players in the international arena. They possess vast quantities of information and wield a substantial impact on our society and future. These corporations must be responsible for the influence they possess, particularly when creating innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence. The main issue is if they will persist with advertising models that promote hate and misinformation, or opt for a more accountable approach. Moving ahead, these three orders, security, economic, and digital, will determine the shaping of the world. It is our responsibility to inquire correctly and demand transparency from those in authority, particularly as technology progresses quickly. Thank you for tuning in, and let's continue discussing who truly holds power in the world and the implications for our future.